He's still the same, a lot of energy, he's jumpy, and he barks a lot, but he's not that bad anymore. But our main concern is just the jumping and the barking. And
Okay.
in the car is pretty, loud when we leave the car or we're in the car, he barks a lot. I'm not sure why though.
Does he move around a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially
Sounds
when,
like anxiety.
Anxiety?
yeah, especially when he thinks we're gonna park. So that's when he, when I put my car in reverse, it beeps. So it's kind of triggers. He knows that we're parking somewhere, and then one of us is leaving.
Sure. Yeah,
So, yeah.
it sounds like either anxiety or like when you're parking, just anticipation.
Yeah.
You know, because he knows the ride's over and he either wants to get out or he's excited to get out. It's one or the other.
Right. Yeah. Or someone is getting out.
Yeah. But yeah, that can be stopped. That's not a problem. What else?
Yes, especially when when we walk and when he sees people, as Grace says, he gets very excited. He gets jumpy. He jumps on them or tries to jump on the dog. So I think that's probably our biggest thing right now is him being excited and getting jumpy and when he sees folks and people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and also heel. That's our thing too. We've been trying to teach him heel.
Mhm.
It doesn't work. He's trying sometimes, but he just, because of probably he has so much energy, he can't just walk without being like with moving around too unnecessary. I'm not sure what you call that, but he just like to pee on every tree and doesn't focus on just walking.
Sure. How big is he now?
Maybe almost 50 pounds.
Yeah, big boy. Okay. And then we got barking in the car. How old is he now?
9 months this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else with Momo?
Other than that, I think he's fine. He barks, but it's usually triggered by when
Attention.
either he wants attention or when he hears something outside, like when the door closes or opens. We have a gate outside our apartment, so when he hears another dog outside, there's a lot of dogs around here, so he when he hears them bark, he barks. But other than the stuff that we mentioned, overall he's pretty good.
What about come when called?
I'm sorry?
Come when called? Like if you're at the
I don't think he comes to us. Sometimes he comes, sometimes he doesn't. So gets a little stubborn with that.
Okay. And then what are you trying to achieve with the training?
Just mainly probably the heel and the jumping and maybe the barking. And the car problem too, because it's hard when he's in the back. It's dangerous when he wants to move through the front while driving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
And,
So he's not tethered or anything? He's not on a harness or something?
Now we have a little thing to put in the seat belt, but he still reached to the front.
Okay. Okay. And what do you do with Momo? Like, what does life look like with him? Like, do you go to restaurants with him? Do you go to the dog park? Do you walk? You walk with him?
We walk him every day, morning and evening, and then we took him to restaurants maybe a couple times, but not really. And one time, where was it? We didn't really take him out. Just
not to the dog park or anything like that.
No, not dog park.
But no, only day he walks. pretty much at least an hour a day. Pretty good walk for him. Now once in a while we'll like make him run and do sprints and play catch with him, but for the most part, no, we haven't taken him to maybe one or two restaurants, and he's actually done pretty well in those settings, but we haven't gone out and with him as much. But yeah, not a lot out on park.
Okay.
But he is exposed to other dogs too, you know, with daycare and stuff like that.
Okay. Anything else with Momo?
I think that's it, you know, in terms of things that you know
That's our main
we
concern.
want to work on, and overall, it's pretty good overall.
Okay. And I think we talked about how we train, right, with the e-collar and everything.
Yep.
Okay. Did you guys do any research on that, or do you know anything about it?
Yeah, we did a little. I've done a little, and I think we've both done a little research, and I think I attended your webinar you had.
Oh.
I don't know when it was, maybe 2 months ago or something like
Right.
that. So yeah, I think you did a good job explaining it and kind of the reasoning behind it. So
Right.
I'm comfortable with it, and I think Grace is too. So.
Okay, so I'll do like a quick review or just like the important stuff, just so that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
So e-collar, it has a bad name just because
Right.
older technology it's not as like it is now. So like older models would go to 10, like there's 10 settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and mine had 127 settings. So I have, it doesn't mean it's more, it's just 10 and 127 are the same, but I have 117 more breaks. I have more divisions in the way it feels. And the e-collar is simply a muscle contraction. Okay, it just moves the muscles, and they use the technology on humans. They use it at a chiropractor's office. They use it at the physical therapist's office. So like if I had a client, she had scar tissue on her muscles or something, and they use the machine to move her muscles to break up the scar tissue. If you've ever seen those videos where they recreate labor contraction pains in men, have you ever seen that?
No.
No? So you know when women go into labor, they get contractions, right? Well, there's videos on YouTube, on the internet, where they recreate the labor contractions, but in men. Okay? And it's very painful because labor contractions are painful, but it's the same technology. It's just moving the muscles, and it's moving the muscles so much that it becomes uncomfortable. And that's what the e-collar is, but there's different levels of it, right? So the way we train, most people think if the dog doesn't do, like let's say you say heel, and Momo doesn't heel, people would like use the collar to like punish the dog, okay? But it doesn't work that way because Momo doesn't know what heel means.
Right.
He's a dog, right? We teach him what to do when he hears the word heel. It's different, okay?
Right.
So like if I say sit and Momo sits, it's not because he knows what sit means. He's just learned that when I say sit, if he puts his butt down, he'd get a treat or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how they learn. So the way we use the e-collar is we always start low and then we work our way up to figure out what is Momo's level. I don't know what it's going to be. Momo knows. Okay. And it could be really low. It could be like, 15 or something, or it could be 85. And even though maybe it's 85, he's not yelping and he's not like jumping around in pain. He's just very tough. And he needs 85 in order to perform the command.
His tolerance of the motion or something.
Correct, of the discomfort, correct. And I have currently, I have at least 3 dogs. Their numbers are 85, 95.
Oof.
Okay, just normal. And they're all pit bulls because pit bulls are very tough. But then I have another dog, same breed, whose number is like 25. Right. So it's appropriate to the dog. So like Anything else below 85, they don't listen. 85, they listen. Okay.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with like, you know, me as a trainer or anything like that. And this is why e-collar is so effective, is because, have you ever seen like the spiky looking collar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The prong collar?
Yeah.
So those are very effective as well. But the problem is, if you take off the leash from the prong collar, if Momo runs away, you can't get him back, or you can't make him come back. Okay, because you no longer have that leash. But the other problem is, I actually had a dog that we were training. It was a golden doodle. It was a black golden doodle, and they didn't want to do e-collar. They wanted to do prong collar. And I said, since it was a puppy, I said, okay, we'll see what happens, but I don't suggest it. And for like the first 3 classes, they're like yanking the dog, right, to make him listen, but he wasn't even listening. He was too tough.
Like hurting the neck then.
Well, yeah, like the prong collar, like it's the same thing as discomfort, right? Because it's physical, but because dogs bite each other, it's meant to replicate a dog bite, right? But he was too tough that even though they were yanking him, like he didn't listen. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they went to e-collar, and then with e-collar, I think his number ended up being like 45 or 55. Then he started caring, but they didn't have to yank him anymore. They just pressed the button. Okay?
Right.
So it's easier because you just press a button, and then you don't have to worry about like yanking the dog and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not physical. And I had a lady. She was like 90, maybe 95 pounds, and her dog, she had a 150-pound Great Dane. So she had to do prong collar with the e-collar because that dog was almost twice her size, you know, and the dog was fine. Like she had the control. So it allows me to kind of make it work when logically it shouldn't. You know, like a 150-pound dog, that'll drag her down the street any day. She had no control. But with the e-collar and the prong collar, she was able, even though she was 90 pounds, to control her dog because she had the right tools. Yeah. Okay. Now, I almost always just use e-collar because it's the easiest. But also we get off-leash control. So if Momo gets scared and like runs away or something, you can make him come back with the e-collar. Okay. And it's the only training method that can guarantee that. Treats can't do that. So if he's scared, he's not going to care about treats, or if he's too distracted. Prong collar, better. But if he's off the leash, there's no way for you to make him come back. Yeah. Right? So if Momo were to get scared or something happened and he were to start running away, in case of an emergency, you have a tool that can make him return. Okay? And that actually happened to a client of mine 3 months ago. Her dog just like ran out the front door and was running towards the street, and he had his collar on, and she had to max it out at 127. And he yipped and yelped and like jumped up in the air, but then he turned around and ran straight back to her before he even hit the street, right? Because it was an emergency situation. And I've had that happen to a lot of people. You know, they're at the park and like a rabbit runs by and the dog takes off after the rabbit. So they're at the park and like somebody lets off a firework at the park, and then the dog is scared and runs away. You know, that stuff is it's not uncommon to happen. So once the dog is trained, people typically think like, then you don't need to do anything anymore. And they go, well, technically no, the dog's trained. But if something happens and it's an emergency, like I want to know I have control. Yeah. Right. So like I was walking my dogs over here at Logan Square, and my dogs hate fireworks. And this was like 3 weeks ago. And I'm walking through Logan Boulevard, and somebody let off a firework right next to me. And my pit bull and my chihuahua got scared, and then they wanted to run away. But I had them on a leash, so it wasn't a problem, but they didn't have their e-collars on. So then the entire time they're wanting to go home because they're scared. So then I'm like, I was pissed because I was like, I wish I would have had my e-collar with me, because then I could get them back under control. But that's also like, you don't know when that stuff's going to happen, right? So I like just knowing that, yes, the dog's trained, but in case something happens, I have a means of having control or getting control back, okay? Questions so far?
So do you suggest to have the e-collar on if we're let's just put it that Momo is already trained, like in the future. Do you suggest to leave the e-collar on when you're outside or just walking him, or take him to restaurants or something like that?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because there's a couple of reasons. One is because of what I just said, right? Like, let's say you're at the park, almost trained, he doesn't run away, he's fine, but something scares him.
Emergency.
That's different, okay? Because he's not running away to be bad, he's running away because he's scared.
Right.
So then the other thing is, you guys drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go on the expressway?
Yeah.
Do you go the speed limit?
No.
So, because people always ask, like, you know, if you're such a good trainer, like, why does a dog need the e-collar after training? And I'll tell them because animals are opportunistic.
Yeah.
Right. So opportunistic is if you can get away with something, you'll try it. Right. So like almost nobody goes the speed limit. Right. Like there's a few people, but then when you're on the expressway and they're going like the speed limit, you're mad because they're going slow. You know, but they're obeying the law. So they're not doing anything bad. It's just everybody obviously speeds.
You're just going fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is called opportunistic behavior. But if you saw a cop car, I'm assuming you'd slow down, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, you know, there's the consequence of getting a speeding ticket.
Right.
So for dogs, it's the same. Think of the e-collar as a cop, right? So when Momo has the e-collar, he's going to behave better because he knows there's consequence. But then if you don't have the e-collar on, then he knows he doesn't have to do it because there's no consequence.
Right.
Okay. The other thing is, you know, you guys are, you know, your average dog owners, you have work, you have your, you know, your social life, you know, you have the things that you want to do that you're not going to spend a whole lot of time training Momo every day. You know, you're going to train him as you go about your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on the internet, if you see a really well-trained dog, you know, one, that dog's been trained most likely since they were a puppy.
Yeah.
You know, every day for hours a day, you know, by a professional. So they do it so much that yes, they can do it to the degree where they don't need the collar. But then I also look at the environment, because a lot of times when I see these videos, they're in a very empty environment where nothing's going on.
Yeah.
That's not the real life. That's not real life. So I train for real life. I'm very realistic, and that's why I tell people these things, because I want them to know what to expect, and that they're okay with it, because then I know we're not going to have any problems, right? So like, we started training at Oz Park. You guys know Oz Park?
Yeah.
Yep, it's over in Lincoln Park, whatever.
Right.
It's the busiest park in Chicago.
Yeah.
One of my clients told me that it's the busiest park in Chicago. You got dogs, you got people, you got rollerbladers, skateboarders, strollers, you know, birthday parties. There's even been jazz bands. Like everything is happening at Oz Park. It's very busy. Okay, that's where we train. So if you can get your dog to, if you can get Momo to listen there, then listening at home and all that stuff shouldn't be a problem because it's super busy. It's more distracting. Okay. Everything now is verbal instruction. So I tell you what to do during the class, and you're training Momo as I'm telling you what to do. And then I send you home with your homework. Okay. So I don't touch Momo anymore. I don't touch the dogs. I just tell the owner, I coach them, and then you learn how to train Momo.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's been working very well. And because it's a lot of information, that's why we are recording the training sessions, is because since it's so much information, if you forget something, you can just turn around and go to my channel and look up Momo and watch the video. Okay. Or if you're having a problem with something, I would send you a video. If I have another client that was having the same problem and then we got it fixed, I would send you their video to watch so that you know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay. So before COVID, I would train the dog in front of you, and then give them back to you, and then I would coach you to train your dog. Right now, now you do everything. Okay.
Okay.
So I like it a lot. My clients like it a lot because they're learning a lot more because you're doing everything. You know, the first class is typically the hardest because nobody knows what they're doing. Momo doesn't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. And you're trying to figure it out as we go about the class.
Right.
But so far, with all our clients, by the end of the class, we always get it done. Whatever we're trying to teach, by the end of the class, we always get it done. Okay. Then it's just your job to practice with Momo to make it reliable and to apply it in life. Okay. So the first thing that we teach is heel. It's always the first class. Okay. It teaches Momo how e-collar works, how it works, what it is. It teaches you how to use it.
Okay.
And then everybody, you know, walks their dog pretty much, that you practice every day when you walk Momo. Okay. And then you know, I teach you for the first class, I teach you the heel concept. And then on class 2, I say, how's it going? And you say, it's going really well. Look, you know, he's doing great. He's walking, he's not pulling, and it'll go awesome. Then there's a second half of heel, because heel is 2 classes. Then I give you your homework and you go home. And then you come back, you know, in class 3, and then we just keep teaching more stuff. Now with the behavior, like the barking in the car and the jumping on people, the barking in the car might go away with the discipline. Okay, just the discipline of the e-collar. It might just go away on its own. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. We just have to correct Momo for barking. Okay, so I think that I talked to you guys about the bonker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it work on him?
It did for quite some time, but now it's just stubborn.
He's gotten bigger, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not uncommon. You know, so like me growing up, I was spanked. And, you know, when I became like 12, 13, like I became too tough for spanking.
Right.
Yeah.
My mom couldn't spank me anymore. She had to figure out other means of punishment, right? Like, you know, like grounding me for a month where I couldn't see my friends or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but dogs, you can't do timeout. Dogs don't understand timeout. So, if the discipline with the heel doesn't stop the barking in the car, we can stop it ourselves with the e-collar. Okay. The jumping on people might also go away because that's usually just overexcitement.
Yeah.
Right. So the problem isn't jumping, the problem is that he's too excited.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if he calms down because of the discipline, then we shouldn't see jumping. Now, if the person goes, oh my God, look at your dog, he's so cute, and they start talking to him, they're going to make him excited, he's probably going to jump, right?
Yeah.
So that we can correct with the e-collar. Okay, so correcting behaviors is not a problem, especially with the stuff that you're dealing with Momo here. It's all simple stuff, okay, because it's just you press a button, that's all it is. So I would expect to do 2 classes on the heel, okay? And then we see what's going on with the other behavior stuff.
Yeah.
If that's still a problem, then by the 3rd class, like I'd show, like we'd go to your car and we'd see what's going on and then we address the car issue, okay? After that, what I would suggest is come when called, okay, the recall.
Yeah.
So that this way you can take Momo and he can be, you know, if you want him to be free off leash running around and stuff, and you're not worried, is he going to run away? Or if something happens, you know how to get Momo to come back. Okay. That's typically 2 classes too. So it's usually 2 for heel, 2 for recall. In your case, maybe 1 class on the car thing. And then there's the 6th class can be on whatever you want. If you want to do like review everything, we can do that. If you want to teach something new, like Momo, go lay down and don't move, we can teach that as well. It's just I tweak the program according to what you're going to need.
Right.
So if everything's going great and you're like, okay, this is awesome, can we learn this? I go, sure, and then we teach it. Okay. In terms of length of time, you most likely need you're in the I have 6, 9, and 12-week programs. Okay. It's 1 day a week for an hour. And the more control you want, the longer the program is. It seems like you care about the heel. You want to stop some behavior stuff, and come when called. Right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So then you'd be in that 6 class range. Okay.
Okay.
2 for heel, 2 for recall, 1 for the car and the barking and behavior stuff, and then we'll most likely have an extra one that we can use to teach Momo, like place, so he goes to lay down, he doesn't move. Or if you want to review everything, then we go over and review everything. You pick. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if everything's going well, then I just keep teaching more obedience. Like, let's say the barking goes away and the jumping on people goes away, and it's very simple to correct. You just press a button. Then we teach more stuff. Okay. But definitely the 2 things you're going to want are the heel and the recall. Those are the 2 most important commands.
Yeah.
Okay. Question so far?
No, not for me. That's good.
For the e-collar, the one that I would recommend for Momo, and Maria will send you the information, is the Dogtra 2300. It's for 70-pound dogs and under. Okay. And it runs about $287 with tax. They're completely waterproof. It's a 3/4 mile range, so plenty of range for the standard family pet. And they last for years. I've had mine for like 8 years, no problems. So they're pricey, but they're in my opinion the best brand and will last a really long time. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
So before we'll set up everything with you with the training, we need to get that color first, right?
Correct. And you get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Maria will send you the link, and it's just send you the make and the model that I told you. And then you just get that. When you get it, I do recommend that you read the manual and that you test it out just to make sure that it's working. Because sometimes, so for your numbers, just so you know, it should go up in increments of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 127, right? But sometimes, because it's electronic, when you turn it, it'll go from like 1 to 30. Okay, so it jumps very high very quickly. If that happens, you want to return it and exchange it, because that's not a good collar. It's rare, but it happens. Like this year, I think it's only happened maybe twice. Over the course of 10 years, it's maybe happened like 6, 7 times when a client gets one like that. Okay.
Okay.
And then once you're confirmed, I'm going to send you some videos to watch. So you learn how to use the collar, how to put it on Momo. And then there's a lesson on to prepare you for training, so that when you come to the class at Oz Park, we can just start training.
Okay.
We don't waste time like trying to figure out the collar and everything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
In terms of the training days and times, what are your what days and times do you have?
Maria knows that better than I do.
Okay.
Because right now, from what I've seen, it looks like we're getting some openings on Saturday because a lot of people are finishing their programs.
Yeah.
The evenings I know are booked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but I know during the day there's openings. And then Saturdays I've seen a couple of openings, but I did like at least, I think you guys are like the 8th consultation I've done in like the last 3 days or something.
Okay.
So it changes every day. Maria will let you know. But as soon as you get your paperwork in, like, so she'll send you a form to fill out, and then she'll invoice you. As soon as you're all set up, it's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys come in, turn around, and you get everything in, and then you're like, we want that time, and it's open, then it's your time.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Anything else?
No, not from my end.
Okay. Well, it's good to see everybody again.
Thank you.
And then, Maria will fill you in on with any questions you might have. And then, we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, no, I wanna when he gets healed up with this rash thing, then we'll definitely.
Yeah,
go,
I'd give it. How long did it give you? A week or two?
Just 1 week with the ointment and the tablets and stuff. So, and we'll probably come back again to see how he's doing.
Sure. So like that gives you time.
Yeah.
'Cause it usually takes people a week anyways, just to get everything figured out and stuff with Maria. And then just keep an eye on him. If it doesn't seem like it's getting better, you haven't changed his diet at all?
No.
Nothing's changed. He just, other than
No.
that.
He's still puppy complete.
He's still like a normal dog, and nothing behavioral has changed. So it's just the rash thing.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep an eye on that because I feel like that's more allergy based. But I'm not a vet. But from what I saw and what you explained, it kind of sounded like that.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't seem like it's getting better, I can put you in touch with Maddie. She's my other trainer here, and she's really good with like helping with stuff like that if it's anything diet based. So just keep us posted, okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. If you need anything else, you let us know.
You too. Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.